Hi, I'm Mark with At My Home, and today I'm going to take a quick look at the OWC Thunderbay Flex 8, our storage solution. We used to use these drives, these Seagate drives. You used to pick them up locally. You know, they're relatively inexpensive, holds 8 terabytes of data, but you want redundant storage, right? Or redundant backup. I would have to get 2 of these every time I wanted to run backup, copying to each of the drives. It's amazing how many drives. This is like, you get I think we have like 20 drives or something like that. Now, we don't use those anymore because we now have the OWC Thunderbay Flex 8. You can see there's 8 drive bays in here. And what I have in here is I have 4 Seagate Exos X18 enterprise class disk drives. And we use those for archival backup. And the reason we use enterprise class drives is we want these to last for a long time. So these are the 4 drives here, and we do them in a RAID configuration. Let me show you here using the SoftRAID console. If I look over here, there's one called Flex 8 Storage 11/12/2021. I always label them when we actually created it, all right? So this is back in November of last year. Now, what you'll see on the screen here is that here is the RAID array. It says a RAID 1, which is a mirror. So RAID is a redundant array of independent disks. So basically, remember I mentioned before, I had to have 2 drives to do things, and I had to copy 2 times. Now what happens is, because it's a mirror drive or a RAID 1 configuration, if you notice the green arrow here, it's pointing to 2 disk drives, because these 2 disk drives on the left-hand side of the Flex 8, those are the RAID 1 or the mirror configuration. So when I copy backup onto these drives, I only have to copy it to the file on the drive. It automatically makes a mirror copy of it, so I don't have to worry about that. Plus, they're really big, because the drives that are in there, the ones on the left-hand side, the 2 here, they're actually 16 terabytes each. So when in a mirror, that means I have 16 terabytes of storage between those 2 drives. There's also a second storage array, all right? The other 2 here on the right, bays 7 and 8. And again, RAID 1 mirror, all right? And these are a little bit larger. I happen to pick up a larger drives. These are 18 terabytes each, so that's 18 terabytes more of storage. What's amazing, by the way, is I haven't filled up the first RAID, so we got plenty of places to archive off all our projects, right? So the really nice thing about this Flex 8 is it has lots of ports on it. So in the back of the unit, it has 2 Thunderbolt 3 ports on it, as well as a DisplayPort 1.4 port, which means if we want to hook a monitor up this DisplayPort, we can to the back of that unit. Also, inside the case, it can handle 1 PCI Express card. Now, we happen to choose a Sonnet Allegro PCI Express card, giving us 4 more USB-C ports. And then on the front, there's even more ports. There's 2 USB-A 3.2 ports. These are 10 gigabit per second each, as well as a USB-C 3.2 port, which gives us 10 gigabits per second. So quite a bit of throughput through this box. We have a CF Express slot and an SD card slot. So plenty of things. This thing is really built to really do a lot of things in the studio, which really we've taken advantage of. Now, we connected this up using the Thunderbolt port in the back of the Mac to the back of the Flex 8. And then from there, we went into this box here, the STX box, the OWC Mini Stack STX. And then from there, we actually connected up the monitor. If we further look at the Flex 8 over here, on the top, there's 4 more drive bays. Now, on the 4 drive bays, I used to have a hard drive in here. That's why there's a label on it. But these 3 bays here are empty, so we have future expansion capability. And on the left, though, is another thing called the OWC U2 Shuttle. Now, OWC supplied this for the review. On this Flex 8, there's actually a difference in the slots. So on the top, there's 4 bays in the top. There's normally SATA, but they will also handle NVMe cards, right? And on the bottom, there's 4 more SATA ports. But on the top, these are the ones I want to use. I can put that U2 Shuttle card in any one of the 4 slots, but I want to put it on the left-hand slot, or the number 1 slot, because it actually has 4 PCI Express lanes. Now, I know I'm giving a lot of gobbledygook here, but the bottom line is 4 lanes is like a 4-lane highway. So if you want to move a lot of data, you get a 4-lane highway. And so what we've done is, in this shuttle, you can actually put SSDs, and you can actually put 4 of them in there. So I put 4 SSDs. I believe these are 480 gigabyte SSDs each in a RAID 5 configuration, yielding 1.44 terabytes of data. So let's take a look again at our SoftRAID. You'll see there's 4 OWC Aura P12 Pro 480 gigabyte SSDs, and these are M2 configuration. Those little look like gum, a piece of gum. Anyway, we take the 4 of those and we put it into a RAID configuration, in this case RAID 5, because we don't want it for storage, we actually want it for performance. So for example, if we wanted to go and drive a project through Final Cut Pro, not using the internal SSD of the Mac, but use it in the Flex 8, we can use this shuttle here and get really great performance. Okay, so let's take a look at this setup and what kind of performance we're getting. I ran the Blackmagic speed test. In the archival, it's the OWC Flex 8. It's the 16 terabyte HDD mirror, or hard disk drive mirror. Okay, so I ran the test on it. I just did it on the one mirror. And as you can see, it's about 252 megabytes per second. Right, on the read, it's, let's see, 153.9 megabytes per second. So not bad, but I'm not trying to be racing here, right? This is not about speed. It's about storage capacity. So now, if I look at the U2 Shuttle, remember the U2 Shuttle from OWC is sitting inside of the Flex 8 box here. And when I run that performance on the 1.44 terabyte SSD in the RAID 5 configuration, then I'm getting around 955 megabytes per second write. And I'm getting, oh wow, over 1,800 megabytes per second read. Keep in mind, this is our configuration. Your speeds are going to vary, obviously. So that's it. That's the Thunderbay Flex 8. Thank you for watching.